Hey guys, I have just unboxed the OM-Tech Turbo 747 70-watt laser machine, and I have just literally pulled it off the crate, and yes, it was a massive crate. And now it is inside my house, and thankfully it has 4 wheels at the bottom of this big machine, because if it didn't, I'd be absolutely screwed to be able to move it, because this thing weighs an absolute ton. Now I'm just going to jump straight into this. Now this is my first time opening up the device. I have already opened up the inside to pull all the pieces out. But I'm going to go ahead and first off the bat after shipping is check my laser tube just to make sure that it's not broken, smashed, and that it's all intact still. And I'm going to remove the foam pieces supporting the laser tube, and as well as the lens mirror cover there as well. This bucket was in the insides underneath the lid, and this is all of your parts for your water system. Now what the water system does is it cools a laser tube as it's firing. So you've got an inlet and an outlet tube that I've plugged into the back there on the right hand side, and then it also comes with a fish pump. And yes, this is a fish pump, and it is the most basic form of a pump that you can buy for a fish tank. There was no instructions with this, so I just had to sort of wing it. So I just sort of assumed, excuse the squeaking in the background, my dog's decided to start playing with toys. I am assuming that you plug this clear piece into the end of the filter itself. Yeah, look, I just sort of winged it here, so just, I don't know, maybe Google it before you do it, but otherwise you can definitely copy me. So you obviously want to have the inlet pipe that is connected to the machine onto this clear little valve here, and then there's also a little filter tube that you want to attach to the side that's going to help the air come through for this actual pump itself, so then it can push the water through. It's got some suction caps on the bottom of it so you can stick it into the bucket that was kindly given to you with the machine. And then you've got your outlet tube that you just want to dunk into the bucket, because once the water flows through the pump, through the inlet, it gets pushed back out through the laser tube to the outlet, back into your bucket, recycling that water. Now this at the back here, before we do turn the machine back around, I'm going to attach the air system. This is like the extraction exhaust fan that basically assists to remove all the excess fumes, dust, and everything like that. Now this is the biggest extraction fan that I've ever had on a laser machine before, so it was pretty nifty to see, but it is pretty loud, I'm not going to lie. So what you want to do is attach the silver tubing to the machine, put your clamp on, tighten that up, and then you want to attach it to one side of your extraction fan, and then go ahead and do the other side as well, and then chuck that out the door for wherever you want to direct the airflow to go. At the back there is the power cord that you just simply plug in. There is also a little plug down the bottom where you can plug the little pump into, which I do end up doing after all this anyway. Normally I don't, but I just decided to do it this time. When you lift up your lid, you do have a whole bunch of cable ties holding down the bed and the machine together, as well as some ribbon and cling wrap absolutely everywhere. So you're going to want to go ahead and remove all of that before you even think about turning on the machine, because you do not want to get any of these ribbons caught up in the actual movement of your laser head axis. Now this is the biggest honeycomb bed that I've ever personally had. It was a little bit rickety. I guess you can see it's a little bit flexible when I actually pulled it out, but honestly the size of it, I don't expect it to have a lot of support being a honeycomb bed. Once I've pulled that out, I went ahead and took off all of that cling wrap that was wrapped up around it, and now on the actual laser head itself there is your toolkit, which is like your keys, a little example test card that they've done a test on with your machine before they've sent it to you, as well as the little lock key for the bottom where you clean out all of your excess crap that's fallen through the honeycomb bed, and then your little measuring tool for your laser head height. There is some cling wrap all the way along your actual access bar, so make sure you take that off, because there is a whole bunch of oil underneath that. And then you want to remove the little covers that are on the 2 mirrors on the inside of your laser machine. Now at the bottom you can see you've got a whole bunch of rails. Those can be pulled out if you want to use a rotary machine, or if you just want to do something big. At the back, I've got my demineralized water in my bucket with my pump powered, ready to go, and I've checked the water is flowing through the tube before I physically turn the machine on. And there is a couple of air bubbles in there, but that doesn't matter as long as you don't have an abundance, like a big abundance flow of bubbles in there, then you'll be okay. A couple is not going to hurt. Now on the right hand side, I didn't show it exactly, but there is a really big red switch which is on and off for the main power of the machine. So go ahead and turn it on and your laser will come to life, and it does have LEDs inside to make the whole thing light up so you can see all of your work that you're doing on the inside. Now on the actual display feature, the keypad, little function pad to the right hand side there, I won't go into full details about it. It is honestly not that hard to figure out because you've got a manual. It's got exactly what you need to know inside the manual. When you are given the machine, there's like a little USB and also a product manual in a booklet. So everything on this screen here, I'm not going to go through, but the main things that you want to know are going to be your autofocus, your up and down on your bed height, as well as the arrow keys to move your laser head around the machine, and then play, pause, and then reset if you want to reset the machine itself. Now the autofocus feature is one of my favorite features on this laser machine by far, because all of my other laser machines that I do have, it uses the actual laser head to focus with like the autofocus on it, but this machine actually uses the bed to raise up and down, which I think is pretty neat. Now the key at the front, that's what you put in to make sure you turn your laser head on, otherwise your laser tube will not fire if you do not have that key to on. And one thing that I did take quite a while to figure out is that it won't actually start if you don't press reset. And I'm okay with it. I've come around to it, but I didn't at first like that you had to press reset every time you opened the lid and closed it to refire the machine. But I'm used to it now. There's always going to be little things about different devices that you're not going to like in other machines. I didn't like when the autofocus reset every time you did one cut. Whereas this, it doesn't do that, which is fantastic. I mean, yes, you have to press reset, but that's okay. You get used to the whole thing. Now, I went ahead and did a whole bunch of test cuts, as you can see here, on a really thin piece of just like plywood. It's just cheap balsa ply, some kind of wood from Temu, to be honest. And I absolutely burnt it to a crisp. Now I've moved up to a 3mm piece of MDF for another test card, and you can see here it just blitzed it and clean cut all the way through, even with 30mm at 35%. Well, 30 millimeters per second, 35% power. The 30% did cut through, but you just had to pop it out. So I decided to jump in and do a little bit more of a thicker material. This is a 6mm MDF. Now remember, MDF is probably one of the harder ones to cut as well if you are using a cheap MDF, because it is like cardboard basically compacted all into a piece of a square rectangle thing. So depending on how cheap the material is, it can be harder to cut, as opposed to high quality MDF can be easier to cut. This does cut pine, and it does say that it can cut up to 20mm thick. So I'm really intrigued to see if that works, because on my other machines, I can only really cut 3mm cleanly in one pass, as opposed to this, I'm thinking you can do it a lot better than that. Another cool feature that I love about this machine is that on the screen, on the little control panel that you've got there, sorry, my dog is growling again in the background. On the control panel, it actually shows you, as the laser head is moving, the diagram of the picture that you are cutting. So that's pretty neat. Now, one thing I love about this is that this right here is an OMTech roller rotary, and this is what I have been dying to do, because this here is my previous attempts on other machines of doing Yeti engraving. This machine is going to be the one that can do it, and it actually does. I'm so happy. I show you at the end a few little clips of things I've been working on so far, and it absolutely works a treat and was so easy to set up. Now you can insert large pieces of material into this machine. As you can see, I took the front door cover off, so it allows you to put long pieces into the machine. You just have to undo the 4 screws at the front, and then a piece comes out. There is also a piece at the back that corresponds with the front piece that you can actually go ahead and remove as well, so you can run and pass through pieces of material quite easily. Now on the screen, I'm just going to quickly jump in here and show you guys that if you're having trouble with your rotary, it is because you do need to go into the physical machine settings and turn it on, and then once you're done and you unplug your rotary machine, you turn it off. So I won't go into too much detail about the rotary function here in this video, but I just wanted to point that out because that took me forever to figure out as well. Now I know I ran through this video very quickly, but I just really wanted to get in, get this video out and show you guys the new toy that I've been playing with. And here are some pieces that I have crafted so far on the OM Tech Turbo 747 70-watt laser machine. And let me tell you, these pieces are massive. The cuts are clean. The work is crisp, and I am in love with this machine. I have literally been using it every single day ever since I've gotten it, and it has just taken my sign making and lasering to that next level. For one, the fact that it is a huge device that allows me to make bigger pieces, and as well, it's so powerful that you don't need to have your settings cranked up so high, and you don't actually have to do a bajillion passes on a piece of wood just to get a cut. You just do one cut, clean, crisp, and done. And I'm so in love. And as you can see here, Yetis, this is what I have been dying to do. Look at that shiny silver metal coming through on my Yetis. Oh, satisfaction is so real. You guys have no idea. It's been like a year of me trying with other machines to get Yetis to work, and I have finally done it, and it literally took me one day with this machine. One day to get this Yeti done like that. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I know I zoomed through this video. I will definitely be back with some more videos, so please stay tuned because I will go into better detail with the next one. Bye guys.